And we are live! Hello everyone, this is the Void Executive and welcome to the stream. How is everyone doing? I hope this day has been pretty chill like all of the other ones. Today we'll continue the drawing of the desert. Last time we made some amazing progress and I have a feeling that we will have some nice progress even today. Let's show how far we've come. And there we go. It's already starting to look very nice. Last time we worked a bit more on the foreground over here. Still a work in progress, but right now I think I will work a little bit more on the robot over here. Maybe the robot and maybe these rocks over here. But mostly the robot. The robot desperately needs some renovation. So, I'd say let's get started. Okay. So, for me, pretty chill days. Excited for the upcoming video, which will be available, I hope, within this week. Technically I could release it right now, but the reason I'm not doing it yet because one of the things that will be announced, they are not yet ready, and whether they are ready or not is not dependent on me. So I simply need to wait until that thing is ready so that I can announce it and everyone can already experience it. Okay. So our robot over here, let me take my references. Actually, let me show the references real quick that we're going to be using in order to create this robot over here. In a moment. There we go. So these more or less are the references, the sort of visual language that we're going to be using for the robot. The idea is to have something that's kind of out of this world, but that at the same time has been abandoned and now acts like some sort of guardian of the gate. Something along those lines. There we go. Let me take off my sweater for a moment because it's getting way too hot in here. I have to say that my room gets hot pretty easily during the evening because we mostly keep the heating off during the day, and then we turn it on during the evening slash night. The thing is that my room is it's quite small, so it gets heated pretty easily. And when it does, I wear the sweater from before when the heater was off, but then it gets hot and uncomfortable. Okay. Okay, let's see how we want to proceed. I say we'll try to polish this area, eventually removing the sketches as we go, and then so we'll create this version that's let's say as if it was still intact, but then we'll use some photo bashing to ruin, quote unquote, this character and make it more look more like a wreck more than anything. So let's start by polishing some areas. And there's always time to work on the colors, etc. Yes, the announcement will be very, very soon. I just need to wait for this one thing in which I have no control over, on whether it's doable or not. So you just need to be a little bit patient, but whatever I am waiting for should be done within 5 days. So maximum 5 days wait, but I have a feeling that it will be available, I think, before this Saturday. I hope, at least. In that case, the announcement will most likely be on Saturday. And I'm still not sure if I should do something different for that occasion or not. Like, instead of having just a regular stream with an announcement, I don't know if I should do something particular, something different maybe. Not sure. This is the sketch of the body. We can already start removing some areas that we do not need. But yeah, I think you guys will like the announcement. How are you? All good, thank you. What about you? I hope your day has been quite nice as well. These days I have mostly working in preparation for the announcement, but in terms of free time I've been playing a lot of Deadlock. I've been really loving the game. It's very unique, really like it. Especially the character designs. Maybe one day during a stream, if we are going to make a character specific drawing, I may show some things that's particular of the character designs of that game because they are chef's kiss level of quality. Like every character is basically very, very unique, not generic at all. They are easily recognizable. Even from a glance, you can already tell what their backstory may be or what their role is in the game. Which is, I mean, to be expected from a developer like Valve. I'm a big fan of Valve as a company and a fan of Valve games. Which is a bit peculiar for this game in particular, because the game itself is not even out and there's already around 100,000 concurrent players every day. That's because you can still play this game, which is still active in the development. There are some things that are behind, because you're basically playing an early access without it being an early access. So you can request an invite. They are fairly easy to obtain, and then you can just play the game. Although it gets updated like every 2 days or so, because it's still very well into development. And let me tell you, once this game comes out, it's going to blow up in popularity. I think it has like esports level of success. I think it will be on the same level as Counter-Strike in terms of popularity. Still another game made by Valve, by the way. Although Deadlock is compared to Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike is strictly a shooter game, and this one is a mixture between a shooter and a MOBA game. I've never played a MOBA in my life. This game is the very first one, so I had to learn a few things from mobile games that I didn't know about, something about their mechanics. But it's not that hard to understand. What types of games do you guys play? I play a little bit of everything, I would say. Like I played the shooters, RPGs, like strategy games. Something's not right. Would you play with us? Yeah, for sure. Why not? It's not an issue for me at all. Actually, I would love to play some with your viewers if you guys like it. Although I may be a bit hesitant with some games, mostly because my hardware is not the most recent one. So with some games I'm not sure I can play them, or play them to a level of quality that would be good for the stream. I think I made a mistake. Okay, yeah, I was using the wrong layer. For that game, Deadlock, it's pretty okay in terms of performance, but since it's still in early development, there are a lot of stutters and most likely a memory leak. But it's still in development. That's perfectly expected, and that's something that they will fix sooner or later. Okay, I think it's best if I start now removing the sketch, which is still very messy in terms of line. It's not clean at all. I think I will also separate the color of the body with the one for the head. I need to find the sketch of the head first. Okay, it's this one over here. But yeah, playing with you guys would be very nice, to say the least, very wholesome. Although I don't know what games we could play, but I'm sure we will be able to find something. There we go. Now we have the head over here and the body. Now with the body, let's try like this. Yeah, let me see some references for a moment. Okay. Let's try some general lighting. There we go. Yeah, with games I usually go like, I don't have a pretty specific genre I like to play. I like playing a big variety for games, but if anything, instead of saying what genres I like to play, I think it's best if it's easier if I tell you what genres I don't like to play, which is for the most part things like FIFA or those type of games based around sports. Okay, let me try technique. Over here it should be darker. And some of the games, if there is maybe a priority in which I choose games, I am someone who is very cautious when buying games. I usually buy a game when I am like 80% sure that I'm going to like it. And sometimes, or most of the time, I like to give priority to indie games, which I think they are, as of today, the best option when you don't know what to play and are a bit tight on budget. With indie games, you almost always get unique ideas with a reasonable price. That's not predatory or stuff like that. Okay, this part over here we'll need to reconsider. In the meantime, let's work on the head. There you go. I think we may need to do some adjustments with the values. I will show you why. Because, okay, let's turn on the black and white filter. So if we cover this area completely and we only watch over here, you can see how the values are pretty much correct. Of course, the brush strokes are still very rough. Still a lot of work to do, but overall, at a first glance, that's pretty good looking. And now we add the rest, and it's this blob here that needs to be corrected. For instance, I think these two columns need to be as dark as the wall over here. So let's fix that right away. In a moment. So we will add one layer of multiply. Also, there's this sketch over here, which I think we need to turn off. So, something like this. However, I think the texture over here is a little bit flat. So let me see if I can do something about it. For example, or maybe yes. Let's make an experiment. We'll grab this part over here. And then add some texture like that. Although yeah, of course we will need to instead of adding it to everything, we will only add it to some specific parts. Yeah, maybe something like this. Maybe. Yeah, maybe something along those lines. And then over here, in order to make this edge not as generic, let's say, we will okay, I like the concept, but I don't like the texture I used. So let's try something different. This is the original photo we used. So I'd say we simply reuse it. Okay, a little bit better. Now, of course, we need to make it of the same light. And now we go back to the shadows. Okay, better. Although now it's blending too much over here. You cannot... sorry. I need to sneeze. Apologies. So right now the part in shadow is the correct amount of shade, but as you can clearly see, the edge is lost, so we'll need to use these layers over here to add the moonlight. So it will be something like so. Something similar to here, but we will work it with a bit more detail later. Because right now it's a bit too dramatic. The stone doesn't reflect the light this strongly. Okay, and then we'll try something like this. So it will kinda emulate this stone, or at least how the stone should work. Which I think it's an improvement, but these two pillars still look a bit flat. So I have an idea. So let me show you the idea that I have in mind. Because I want to illuminate these pillars in one way or another. And if we want to be realistic, if the light only comes from here, it's not going to get lit very much because the people over here are very, very small and the gate is very, very big. So what if instead we do some sort of, let me show you. So this one is our giant robot over here. Yes, giant robot. What if we add, now I will use a very light color just to give you an idea, but here it's not very noticeable, but I will make it clearer. These should be like buildings covered by scaffolding. What if we extend this scaffolding in such a way as if people have been building around the giant monster over here, and here has some sort of kinda like the first Donkey Kong video game, the one with the barrels. So have some sort of scaffolding that acts like this, so people would be able to go up and maybe have some construction work around the giant body. So this way we will be able to illuminate these areas as well, in order to make these pillars be more visible compared with the rest of the background. I think that can be a good idea, but in order to do that we will need to find some more images, and for that we need to switch over. So let me change scene real quick. Okay. Simple, plain old Google Images. Let's try wooden scaffolding. Let's see if we can find some examples. Something like this. Hello, welcome to the stream. We are right now working on this piece over here, and we are now looking for references of scaffolding to add over here using the photo bashing technique. So something like this. Let's see if there is a... Okay, no, never mind. Because there are sometimes when you find an image, they can be 3D models which you can rotate, and then I would screenshot them and use them for photo bashing. Something like this. If there is a frontal view, it would be perfect. Let's see if we can find some more. Possibly something not this cluttered, because then it will not be much visible. Oh yeah, here in Blender Market. Let's see if it can be rotated. Yes. No. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Let me see if I can zoom. Okay. Now let me quickly. Let me see if it's visible. Okay, yeah, something like this. Now the cool thing about finding 3D models on the internet, if you want to use photo bashing, is that you can simply place them wherever you want and simply screenshot the images, and then you have free assets to use for your piece. And we don't need to find many images. I think that already by using this image alone, we can have a lot of variety. So now we simply drop it here, remove the background, and it's also perfect even if the image is not really high quality, because it will be very small anyway. And now we simply remove all of the little gaps. Let's do these little gaps over here as well, just to make sure. Okay, let's remove the remaining ones. Okay, more or less we have our base scaffolding, and from here we can go crazy with it. Can already start to mix and match different elements. So, with just a few changes, we already have something completely new. Are you a fandom type of person? Depends, I think. Also, what are these? Oh, okay, there are. Okay. Like, I am a fan of different things, but maybe not to the point of some fandoms which are a bit too obsessive, to the point of ignoring criticism or things like that. Like, I know lately, if you have ever watched the Amazing Digital Circus, great series, highly recommended. There has been some drama involving some characters, and the fandom was a bit was harassing the creator a bit too much, which it's not a good it's not a good look, I would say. I need to find the layer. 1 second. But yeah, what about you? What kind of fandom are you in? Okay, I found the thing. Let's bring this one behind, I would say. Okay, let's go find a few more images so we have more variety in constructing this scaffolding over here. If I manage to make it appear. Okay, it's not appearing, but no matter. I will simply post the images. No fandom, just watch for fans and updates. Fair enough. Okay, I have found another image, although I'm not sure if it has a 3D view. Okay, there is one which is perfectly frontal, but it's in black and white, so we'll need to do something about it. Okay, let me see if I can find other variants. I'm not sure why it's not... Okay, 1 second. Okay, there we go. Managed to fix it. Oop. Let's find some more images to use. Yeah, basically anything with 3D models, we will simply yoink them. Although this one doesn't have a 3D view, or does it? I don't think it does. Frontal view? No. Same for this one, I imagine. Then we will look elsewhere. Oh, this one. The load image is very, very small. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really like it. Let's try something like scaffolding lips. Yeah, something like this. It's what I'm trying to recreate. Yeah. Yeah, something like this. What if I type scuffed scaffolding? Maybe unstable scaffolding. Scaffolding tower. No. Let's try. Oh, I like this one. Let's see if it's a 3D model. No, it's images. But I think I will take it. Copy image. I will paste this one with the rest. And then maybe one more. With this one. 3D model. Let's see. No. Yeah, it's okay. Let's use what we have. Okay. Now we have a new type of image and we'll do the same thing. Okay. We separate. We have this one over here, and now we merely drop it here. And now we'll mix and match these two over here. Hello, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Hope everything is going pretty well. We are making slow but steady progress on this one. Okay, let me lower this one so they are all of the same value. Oops. this one over here. Okay. And now we simply go crazy with it. We'll create a shit ton of layers, but it will be worth it. So we are essentially creating this scaffolding that goes up, and it will reach around this height, as if people are trying to study this creature over here. Okay. We are getting somewhere. Okay. Now I think we need to go back over here and try and make sure that these ones are actually understandable, that they are in fact buildings. Done. Okay. Okay, this one needs to be maybe darker. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's best if it looks much more like a photo, but we can work on it. In the meantime, let's merge all of these scaffolding. We can always change it later. And then Let's see if we apply the filter, if it changes anything. Okay, we'll wait a little bit on that. Let me save. Since we are here, let me flip the image. Because now that we have this scaffolding, we can already start illuminating the wall behind it. So basically, if I manage to select it, there we go. Now we can go back over here and start applying the same color. Still a very much work in progress, but we can already start experimenting with some blending modes. Okay, maybe let's do something like this. Okay, and then let's try with okay, we go back here and we make it of this same color, more or less. With some lighting over here, some small pockets of fire. Let's illuminate the scaffolding where necessary, and let's see how this one will look like. Nice. Looks very nice, I think. Let's try without this one. Thank you. To be honest, it was a kind of a shot in the dark, this one. I didn't expect how it would look like, but I am pleased to see that it's not looking super awful. It's now only a matter of adjusting the different things. Because now we need to add some sort of fog thingy. Something that should be very, very light, but this one should be present in front of everything over here. Be the same here, but then we will only delete it for the parts that are in front, let's say. So now that we have added this light, you can already kind of tell the highlight of these. Pillars. Of course, we would need to hold on one second. For some reason, I kinda lost the layer that I added over here, but no matter, we can still turn this around. Okay, and then we do the same thing that we did earlier. Creating some texture wherever needed. And maybe making this one something like this. Maybe making it just a little bit lighter. There we go. Now if we look at the values, it's much more balanced, I would say. I think the ground over here is still way too bright, but we can fix that in a moment. Not sure why it's doing that. Oh, because this one is on overlay. Okay, so we can do instead. Like so. Was it like this before? No. Oh, yeah, fuck it. Let's make another. Like, let's duplicate this layer over here. Now let's see. Okay, much better. Let's go back to the main creature over here. Let's see. Because I want to think about the about the colors and things like that. First, let me do one change. I think we can already try and use some robotic images for photo bashing. Although I am not completely sure. First, let me do something which I think will be necessary. That is let's see if I turn this one off, and then okay. This is the body. Okay, so now I will because earlier it was both body and the head united in terms of layer for the color, but now I realize that after separating the head from the rest of the body, for some reason I will need to shade the body underneath, even if it's technically covered by the head. For some reason it's detecting something and I don't know what. Just one moment. Okay, so let's turn off the head, go back to the body over here, and let's start working on this area over here. Shouldn't be anything too complicated. Yeah, much better like this, I think. Because then, now we have the head and we can place it wherever we want, essentially. Yeah, another reason is because I want to move the head someplace else, because like this it doesn't make much sense because it's not held by anything. So what if what if we have the head kind of stuck like this, as if it's blocking the way? Let me do a quick sketch. So the head would be something like this. Maybe here some sort of plaza. That goes like this. Here it's broken. Here we'll need to remove some areas of the tents. And then here have some more scaffolding or things like that. Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. So we do something like so. We lower the thing like this. So then here we will focus on the body, and then we'll work on the head later. Yeah, I think that can be. I think that's a good game plan. Before continuing, since we are halfway into the stream, I will take a short break. I will be right back in a few minutes. Get some water and stuff like that. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so body over here. It's time, I think, to start using some photos and see how it goes. So I would say let's switch back to. I think we will also be using Pinterest. There we go. Let's see. Oh, first I want to say something. Earlier I said that it had like the hands stuck inside, but I'm thinking that maybe it's best if we have some hands clawing onto the rock over here. So let's start with trying to find some photos for those. Mechanical hand, let's see. What I want to find is photos and not drawings like this. Robotic hand. Something like this. Let's see if we can find maybe robotic hand. Yeah, something like this. Or this. This one is perfect because it has all of the exposed wires and stuff, which gives that kind of ruined look to it. Thank you. Usually these images have also different poses, which is perfect, but let's start with this one. That's number one. I think I will grab a couple of more photos and trying to build a unique hand design. Something like this one. Let's see if it has more images, but I don't think so. Let's try and see something similar. Something like this one, maybe. Let's try and find one more image and then we'll switch back to the program. I really like this one. Oh, maybe this one. Yeah, this one is perfect because it's completely flat, so we can detach the fingers and move them in any position we want. Okay, perfect. Now, here we have all of the images that we need. 1, 2, 3. Let's keep them to one side. And we'll try to build one hand first and then the other. Need hands. Let's start from this one here. Let me turn it into a smart object just in case. And then I'm not sure why it doesn't select this one. No matter. We will simply do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, there is a slight problem. Let's do it the other way and see. How it looks like. Yeah, we need to change a little bit on this side because it's the wrong it's the wrong hand. So let's change it. Okay. Let's remove this part over here. Smaller, maybe. Okay. And then I would say we steal parts of this hand and place it as part of the other hand. And warp it a little bit. Okay, hands are ready. We will not bother with the colors and lighting because we'll do all of that later. Now let's look at some metal plates to add to our main body over here. So let's switch back over here. Humanoid robot. Let's see what we can find. Large images. Oh, I have an idea maybe. Boston Dynamics robot. If you haven't heard about this robotics company, I highly recommend checking the YouTube channel. It has some crazy videos about what the robots are capable of doing. Like they have humanoid robots that can do backflips and stuff. Especially this one, which is called Atlas. Let's check over here as well. Boston Dynamics. Yeah, look at what these robots can do. Crazy stuff. Oh. Let's see if I can find a good image. For now we need some armor plating. Maybe this image can be useful. That's one. Then this one may be useful for some parts. And that's two. Okay, let's switch back to the program. And just like we did with the photos, we are going to be using these ones to adorn our robot over here. Let's start with this one. We are going to steal this plate over here. Okay. And then do the same thing over here. Okay. And I say let's merge these two. Now for the area beneath, especially this lower part, it should be all about expose the wires and stuff like that. So this part may be useful, but I think I have found another image that may be what we need. And that is this one over here, which it's one of the images I also used in the first version of this drawing, which I then scrapped because I didn't like it. This one here. Run, funny. Okay, the chicken leg go. I mean, if you ever watched the video of this one, which that does backflips and stuff like that, they are really impressive. And this is the older model. The newer model can do even crazier stuff. Okay. Now let's do the arms for a moment. And we'll be using these ones over here. Here do something like so. Although okay. Let me merge and one thing. There we go. And then do the same thing on the other side. Okay, slowly getting in shape, I would say. Now the only thing left is these panels down here, but I don't think they will be a problem. And also the middle area over here. But that's hardly an issue. Let's do the part underneath here first. We'll be using this one still. There we go. And then okay. Then of course this area will be much darker. As for the plates over here, I think we'll use the same thing in here. Hmm. We go. Still needs to be changed. Do you think Detroit become human would be possible in the future? Maybe. What I think will most likely happen, if you ever watched Dune or are a fan of Dune, I only watched the movies, but then I searched some things about the lore of the story, and you might have noticed how there, despite the advanced technology that the Dune movies have, there are no artificial intelligences. And I looked it up as to why there isn't anything like that. And in the books it explains that they had some sort of a rebellion because the AI became so advanced that people kinda got lost in it and they became too dependent on AI, and so they had a total 180 in terms of AI, and as humans realized that they were becoming too dependent, they went into the complete opposite direction and banned the use of advanced AIs altogether with the death penalty. I think that in the future we will reach a point in which we will realize that we are becoming too dependent on artificial intelligence, and we will outright ban any use of that sort of intelligence. But that will be far off in the future, of course. And maybe this sort of type of relationships that happens in Detroit Become Human may be one of these factors that may cause such violent reaction. So, like, the name of that revolution was literally like the anti-robot jihad or something like that. So that should give you an idea of how violent and revolutionary that rebellion was in the world of Dune. Okay. Let's flip the image once again. We have a rough sketch of how it may look like, this entire giant robot. Now let's try and make it so that it takes some of the colors underneath, at least in part. Then we have all the time we need to change it and refine it. But just as an example, because if we do something like this and then change it to so it would be something like that. Hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Okay, let's turn off all of these images over here, which we do not need at the moment. I read that the fruit fly brain that they managed to map fully a couple of years ago recently got inserted in a program where a digital body of a fly was connected to it, and it immediately started behaving like a fly without any training on the digital brain. Nice. I mean, that's quite impressive. Imagine if they, like, today, if you follow some of what happens, like with the war in Ukraine, they are using a lot of drones, right? But not just the little flying drones. They are also using some little robots that look like those little cars that you use a controller with, except they are like 1 meter tall, and they have how do you call it? They have the tank type of tracks they used to move with a gun attached to it. So imagine if in the near future we are able to develop like dog robots with the same mapping of a fully scanned trained dog. So you have like these robot dogs with the robot brain, which has the scanning of a real trained dog, and you can just mass produce any of them and use them like into the battlefield or something. Something like in that one episode of Black Mirror, if you have ever watched them. I think I forgot one thing, which is if I manage to, yes, this one. Okay. Of course, now the values are all messed up, but we will work on it. Unless ethical problems are immediately brought up from courts and judges, I guess it will happen sooner rather than later. I think that the courts in general are already mobilizing with the AI. I know, for instance, that there has been a US court ruling, for example, in which if you create something with AI, or almost exclusively AI, you cannot, you do not have copyright claims on it. So let's say that you create a song using AI or a picture using AI, you cannot claim copyright on that generated material, which is definitely a good thing. I mean, you already got Soul Killer for a fruit fly. Yeah, I played Cyberpunk. Yeah. I mean, did it kill the fly? Because if it's simply brain scanning, I don't think it's technically Soul Killer, but yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, even not many years ago, we managed to clone sheep. So technically, even cloning living beings are one of those avenues of science that I think will be used a lot. Probably it's already dead since they live a few days. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I think right now let's say the trend is AI. But I think that in the near future, AI and biotechnology will work hand in hand with each other. For example, one of the games I've been playing lately, which is called The Forever Winter, they had these factions, these two main fronts waging war against one another, and one of them is very advanced in biotechnology, to the point where they basically use human slaves as cyborgs, and they are basically more machine than human, and they literally imagine like a stealth bomber, but instead of dropping bombs, they drop hundreds of these pseudo cyborg zombies, similar to one particular scene in Attack of Titan. If you have watched the later seasons, there is a scene where they basically airdrop titans as bombs, as weaponized titans. So yeah, something like that. Okay. Now I have one small issue with this whole setup. It's something that's easily fixable, but yeah, I love yeah, so imagine the scene where they airdrop Titans, but instead they are human cyborgs. Okay, so the problem I have over here is, let's say that I want it to be in overlay. However, I would need to clean up all of this. Some of it's already cleaned up. Although let's remove this part over here. Maybe actually, let me do something simple. There we go. Actually, no. Let's go back over here. Let's put it to normal. Let's make this all together, and then put an overlay. You multiply. First, let me do something. Okay, no, it's not. Doesn't work very well. Okay, let's start with overlay and then maybe color dodge. What happened? There we go. Okay. Now we go dodge and try to light it up where possible. Let's see how well it will look. So it will be illuminated a little bit like this, but then we'll need to Okay. Okay, we are cooking. Of course, we will need to work a little bit more on certain areas, but now let's do something about these hands as well. Let's try with a soft light. It's already looking quite nice, at least in the general image over here. Still not as perfect, but it's something. Because then for the main body over here, we have this over here. Let's make this one normal for a moment. Let's colorize it. Okay, let's see. let's keep it like this for now. There will be plenty of time to work on this one. Well, let's add some shadows over here. What is this? Let's change it. There we go. Okay, let's add the shadows. Maybe a bit more dramatic. And then we'll soften the edges. Okay. We need to also add the shadow behind the scaffolding over here. So let's do just that. Okay, let's change. Yeah, it's already looking very nice, I would say. Okay, yeah, this part needs to be a little bit adjusted, I would say. Let's see in terms of values, how is it looking like. I like the haziness over here, but we will need to apply the same level across the rest of the background, because it will then help to differentiate between the foreground and the background. Let's do that right away. I think we will do it here. It will be okay. Better, but it can be better. Okay. Then we can switch back to over here. And have something like this. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Better. Let's go for this one. Make it black and white. Hello! Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? We are making amazing progress over here. Creating this desert environment. How's your day? Oh, good. I'm very happy with the work over here, and at the same time happy with the upcoming announcement, which hopefully will arrive within this week. Thank you. I'm really glad it's shaping up to be very, very well compared to how it was in the very first iteration. Really cool, thank you. It's still very much a work in progress, but what's it for? Simple personal project. Basically, with these streams we alternate between two different projects. Between this one, which is basically we spin a wheel and it will decide one theme to draw, and once we finish it we spin the wheel again and see what is the next topic to do. And another project which has been a much bigger project, which has lasted 3 months by now since the start of this channel, but it's about to reach a conclusion. So we alternate between one and the other. So in the next stream we'll work on the other project, and then on Saturday we'll go back to this one over here. So just to give you an idea, this is how it looked like before in the very first iteration of the drawing. There is the X over here because I really didn't like it. It was something like this, but I found it very ugly in terms of composition, so at one stream I said fuck it and completely deleted everything and started over, and came up with this one here, which is much better. Still a long way to go. This is let me show the progress. It was first like this, and then so it was like this, then we started over, it was something like this, then like this, and then oops, like this, then like this, and then like this. Big difference. This is how we started with today's stream, and this is current progress. Much better, but there is still a long way to go. But let's say that the finish line is there, which is really it's really something. This one, what was it? Yeah, it was one of the different filters that we will add that later. Yeah, these are like Instagram filters that you can add later to add some extra feel, but that's usually done at the very end. Yeah. Now, what else can we do? I mean, to be fair, I think this yeah, I think we can stop here, but don't leave yet, because I wanted to go back to the topic that we are discussing about AI. So I will take the opportunity to show you a bit of cool things just to finish the day, instead of just abruptly end it over here. Let me simply see if I can. Let me go to YouTube real quick. Let me see. Oh yeah, first, when we are talking about the bioengineering and things like that, let's say that I also took some inspiration when making this drawing over here, a little bit, about this game called The Forever Winter. Let me show you what I am talking about so you guys have a better idea. Let me see, The Forever Winter cinematic trailer. Let me see if okay. One moment, because there is the advertising. Ugh. So basically, in this game, is about two different factions warring, fighting against one another, but you don't take part in any of those. Essentially, you play the role of a scavenger, and you go into the battlefield in active war zones in search of scraps and trying to survive. And this is one of the different trailers, which has some really good scenery, and let's say I am kind of inspired by this one, even for other artwork that I've made. So let me see if I can. Okay, let me briefly turn off the music. Actually, let me do one test real quick. Okay, it's working. Okay, now let me briefly. Oh wait, let me make sure that it picks up the audio as well. Yeah, properties, capture audio. One moment, guys, almost there. Okay. So this is the game I took inspiration from for some of the visuals. And let's go. Let me know. Okay, let me check the audio. Okay. Let me know if you guys, if the volume is okay and stuff like that. Why is it... one moment. Why is it doing like that? There we go. Okay, sorry. I'm not sure what happened, but... there we go. This is one of the trailers of this game. And yeah, that's pretty much one of the different trailers of one of these games that I'm taking inspiration from and that I've been playing these last few days. Does this game use the Source engine? No, it uses a Unreal Engine 5. In a way, I wish it used the Source engine, because it's a game that's still in early access, and because of that, it has its own. It still has many bugs and optimization issues, but that's something that will be fixed overall. But as you probably saw, I'm trying to get some inspiration, at least in the post-apocalyptic vibes and type of thing, so which is something that's a bit influenced over here. Something that I at least try. When you take inspiration from something, it's always a good idea to not exclusively use one single thing, but take bits and parts from different sources. For example, in this one, yes, there is the apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic component vibes, but it's also in the desert, And for the inspiration that I took from the desert was from another game called Kenshi. The game which I showed the trailer for is an extraction shooter. And while Kenshi instead it's more of a strategy sandbox game. It's one of those games where you are dropped in the open world and you can do whatever you want, and your actions shape the world if you do certain things, but it's not that you have a specific objective or story. You decide whatever you want to do and you create your own story. And Kenshi looks like this. Let me show. This image is too crap. Okay, 1 second. Kenshi wallpaper. Okay. And so this other game which I'm taking inspiration from is called Kenshi, and it looks like this. It's still post-apocalyptic, but it's in the middle of the desert. Even here I can already notice some photo bashing here and there. You can tell how these are modified photos, pretty much like I've been doing in my drawing over here. And so you take a little bit of everything in order to create something new. Even when we think we have created something from imagination alone, in reality it's because we have seen something or someone that stuck in our mind and subconsciously let us create what we think is original, but nothing that we think of is original. It's all an amalgamation of different memories of the experiences that we have. And when you create a drawing or a design, it's pretty much the same thing. If you start drawing, do not think to expect having good results without using references and taking inspiration as much as possible. Even the big artists like Leonardo, Michelangelo, and all of these big artists from the past, when they did their drawings, they made tons of studies, but in some occasions they literally had one person pose, stand in front of them on the specific pose. Like at the time they always painted something religious, but they needed someone to make the pose, or some model to portray the Virgin Mary or baby Jesus or regular Jesus. They too had to observe first. That's something that I highly recommend to everyone who wants to start drawing. And do not get discouraged when you see an amazing piece of art made by one artist and you may feel demotivated and say, damn, I have no idea how these guys came to this level. But remember that every single person was shit at drawing, and they got good over time using tons of references, observing and taking inspiration from different sources. You basically create different pieces of different puzzles and you compose your own puzzle. If you start drawing, I advise you to take inspiration from stuff that you like. It can be video games, it can be movies, it can be other artists. And you will thank me later. Okay, my little rant is over. I hope you liked this little showcase at the end. So, we'll stop it here for today for this one, and this one we will continue on Saturday. and instead on Friday, which is in the next stream, we'll switch back to the other project and start a new character, because we finished the previous character on the last stream, and we'll start our last character to create. So, very productive day. So this is the current progress. We started with the project looking like this, and we finished with the overall piece looking like this. Still needs a lot of changes, a lot of tweaking, but I think in the next stream we will either work on this area or work a little bit more on our adventure over here, especially the camel, because I want to give it like a bunch of bags and stuff like that to give the idea of actually being on a journey. But we will see. What else? A big welcome to those who just joined today. Hope you guys like what I am doing over here. As I said before, stay tuned for a potential announcement. You will notice. Hey, thank you for coming. You will notice when there is the big announcement, because as I do with all of the other streams, I always upload a little bit earlier a preview, at least on YouTube, a little preview of the stream with title and stuff, and you will know when there is the big announcement, because it will be announced as you get the preview of the stream. Because of that, I will have to ask you guys a question. If you maybe I will ask you today, but I will also do a post on the community tab of YouTube. I will see if I am able to do that, but I'm not sure. I need to verify that. But on the stream of the special announcement, do you want me to still continue with the schedule as usual, so it will be just a regular stream with the announcement at the start? Or would you prefer if, for example, I played a game or something to celebrate, have some sort of special stream for celebration? Because this special announcement is because of celebrating the 100 subscribers on YouTube. So that's the occasion. The announcement is also tied to a video that will thank you guys for reaching 100 subscribers. So let me know if for that stream in particular you would prefer like me playing something, whatever that may be, or if you prefer a regular stream like we've always done, with me simply drawing and continuing the projects that we have going. So I will leave you guys with this question, and I will see if it's possible for me to make a post in the community tab of YouTube, so that you will receive a notification. But we'll see. So next stream we continue the other project. Welcome to those who have just joined today. This has been the Void Executive, and I will see you guys in the next company meeting. Good night, everyone.